Carnegie says, GroupBy is a great contribution and model. Yeah, it's all about figuring out how we can give back as much as possible, train as many people as possible. Same thing with the, recording these on YouTube, make it easy for people to learn and grow really quickly. And to reward the presenters, too. I mean, to make it as easy as possible to get their name out there, get their blogs out there, the work that they do. Because a lot of us, you go to user groups, you go to conferences, and it sometimes feels like your work just disappears. You put all this work into a presentation and writing things, and then if it's not, put out there long term for lots of people, sometimes it can even feel like your work is just kind of done in vain there.
And if you see the last few Microsoft presentations, how they release SQL 16, like Satya released it, they were all online. Most of the sessions were, they did it online, because sometimes people feel, like they sit online very easily, because you can sit it on your computer anywhere. That's the main thing.
It's hard for people to get to a specific place and time. It's just same as I was talking. Yeah, forget who I was talking to earlier this morning. I think it was Drew, where I said, no, or Bert, there's a user group. No, it was Greg Bray. There's a user group not even 5 blocks from my house, and I can't get there because the time never works. I just can never. Whereas if there's stuff online, I can just open up a browser and do it while I work. It's so much better. Let's see. Derfredo says, big thanks to Breno for inventing GroupBy, and to all the speakers for sharing their knowledge in the new relaxed SQL family way. Yeah, that's the idea, is to have it nice and casual. Yeah,
totally agree.
Well, you feel like getting started?
Sure.
All right. Well, so in this session at GroupBy, Vishal's going to talk about Power BI, something near and dear to my heart, because I want to see how it works, especially with all the data that I need to analyze. So, Vishal, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Brent, and I would like to welcome everyone to be on these sessions. Hopefully in the next 1 hour you will be surely downloading the Power BI and start analyzing your data. That's my promise to you. So let's start with the introductory slide, starting with about me. I will just make this slide open and I will not discuss anything, but just my mail@vishal.center, and the Twitter is the best place to reach out, and you can send the queries, questions, anything related to Power BI. And we do have a very huge support of global Power BI user group. There are more than 23 user leaders who are supporting that user group. So make sure if you have any questions related to Power BI, tweet about it, and I will get back to you. Moving over to my demo. So it might look very huge, but believe me, the most of the points will get covered in the minutes. So what I have done is I have this little agenda over here. We might refer or we might not refer this, but it will be always on the screen, so you know that which slide or which thing we are doing in the Power BI. So moving over to that, why Power BI? So to answer that, first of all, we have to go a little bit a step back. Actually, there was a first wave, that is technical wave, what we call, it was around 2006-8, where IT was providing reports to the end user. IT was writing everything and giving the reports to the end user. Then there was a second wave, which is the self-service BI, where analysts and end users were trying to reach out and see how they can visualize. And right now we are into the third wave of BI, that is end user BI. That means BI for everyone. So BI is not that you put the request to what you need to see in the report. It's now that you can do your own analysis if you have access to the data. So how Power BI is fitting into this perfectly third wave of the BI, that is BI for everyone. So first of all, let's see what are the challenges of previous BIs. So BI, we need to have an end-to-end view. The data was often, like on the disparate location, there was different sources. Other than the SQL, there was a CSV connectors, text file, those data sources, how we can bring it together. Consider end user is doing like entire integration of CSV text file very easily and seamlessly. So that was the main BI challenge that Power BI solved. Multiple data source, yes, you can fetch the data from different data sources such as Facebook, Twitter, and relate them together, and you can do your analysis. So that also a challenge is solved by the Power BI. And right data for the right user at the right time. This is the main code what Power BI gives you all the time. So let's see what was the old approach to solve any BI problem. So we have the ETL. So ETL process was, we know that we developed the SSIS package to solve our ETL problem. We have data warehouse SSAS, where our cubes are sitting, and we process the cubes to get the data into our SSRS report, and then we hosted that particular SSRS report into SharePoint to get it access to the enterprise. And we do have little background of in the Microsoft BI stack, the predictioning, data mining. So that was our old approach where we have ETL, analytics, reporting. So what is the new approach that people will going to take going further is SSIS. Whatever we are going to do in SSIS is exactly you can do in Power Query, which means you can combine the different data source, you can massage it, you can transform. In fact, you can add expressions, you can do everything. And SSAS is nothing but the Power Pivot side of it. SSRS is Power View and Power Map, and SharePoint is nothing but Power Query with the sharing features. And you have the predictioning and mining built in the Azure. And you also have the Q&A. That is Q&A. You can ask natural questions to the Power BI and get the data. So this is the entire lineup that Power BI has. So you don't have to remember anything of this like Power Query, Power Pivot, Power. It was very confusing during the first phase of the Power BI launch. Now it is everything known as the Power BI. So just remember the word Power BI and you can do entire of this thing inside the Power BI. So that was the new and the current Microsoft BI approach that you can definitely try out. So let's move into our main slide, that is what is Power BI. So Power BI is actually a suite of business analytics tools which you can analyze the data and share your insight. You can monitor your business. You can get answer pretty much quickly with all the rich dashboards. And most important thing is Power BI is available on all the device, that is Android, Apple. It is available on all the devices. So this is where why Power BI. So I have given part one, and the next one is the part two, part three, part four. I'm just kidding. It's not like that. So key benefits. So main key benefits that for learning Power BI, you have a pre-built dashboards and reports. So if you don't know anything about this product, you can just go online, you can get the pre-built dashboard and you can learn those and you can apply those exact things what you are looking into pre-built dashboard in your own dashboard. This is really, I mean, you can learn by your own self very easily, and all the dashboards are live, real-time dashboards and updates you will get. This is definitely going to secure because it's have Office 365 single sign-on, how you are logging to your OneDrive, how you are logging to your Skype account online, Office 365. Similarly, you are going to log in on Power BI online account. So these are the main key benefits. And the next slide is Power BI part 30. So if you want to learn about part 2 to 29, you have to visit the Power BI site, that is powerbi.com, that is powerbi.microsoft.com, and you will learn probably many things, and you will definitely love it. And the most important I would like to highlight here, it has over more than 50 connections, which are very popular business like Project Online, like Dynamic CRM, Salesforce. So these connectors are right away available for you. You don't have to do anything. You just sign in your credentials and you will get the data on the fly. So who are the most important users of the Power BI? According to me, I will not read this at all. I believe that everyone should use Power BI. Why? Because it's very easy, it's very intuitive, and you will definitely like a rich dashboard. And I know you want to share your dashboard with everyone, so you will definitely go, everyone will be use this Power BI for sure. So I feel that this slide everyone should listen very quietly because this slide is going to get you entire enterprise platform of the Power BI. So starting with, you have a Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop is the standalone tool sitting inside your own laptop or computer, which will give you like Power BI desktop, and it is a software and where you can do analysis. And you can publish that particular Power BI file into the Power BI service, which is the cloud platform. So think of it like this, how OneDrive has files on your own local machine, and you can publish those on OneDrive and access from everywhere. Similarly, Power BI has its own extension, that is PBIX, and you can publish those files into the Power BI service. Once you publish your file into the Power BI service, you can get it access through all the devices like mobile, tablets, or even your laptop, any browser. It almost supports all the browser right now. And it additionally also gives the gateway feature, which means you can not only connect to your own local files, you can connect to your organization data, and that is also very secure, which is known as Power BI gateways. So in this enterprise platform, you will have more than 50 apps where you will definitely going to connect directly. You don't need any extra connector, or you don't need to do anything. You can just go on Power BI service and get those 50 apps directly connected, like QuickBooks. If you have QuickBook accounts, you can go Power BI service right now, and you can there is a dashboard ready for you. You just have to place your credentials over there, and the dashboard is ready for you. So that sort of those 50 apps you can directly connect from the Power BI service. So moving over to the installation, so I'll just read the highlighted part. That is, it requires only 2 cores, and that to 4 GB of RAM. But believe me, it will be good if you have a high RAM, because the technology is in memory. So right now I tried most of the things with the 16 GB of RAM, and it works pretty well with the 16 GB of RAM. If it is you are going to use in the production environment where there is a huge database, then you have to go to the next level, like 32 or 64 GB of RAM. So there is a link I have provided where you can go and install, and it's fairly easy. Just do next. I also provided here how you can access Power BI service. You can access to all of these browsers such as Microsoft Edge, Internet Explorer, as well as the Chrome. Almost every browser is listed over here. Now the most important thing that everyone is interested, that how much it will cost to me. So first of all, Power BI is free. Okay, so everyone can right now have their own Power BI account, whether it is a Power BI desktop or Power BI service. You can definitely have that on your right now also, because it's free. So the current data capacity is 1 GB per user for free. If you want the advanced users, then you can go purchase just a $9.9 per month, and you will get 10 GB of user. And Microsoft is trying to change this, like day by day, adding features over here. So it's suitable to go this link whenever you want to know that how much it will cost. So you can just go over this link and you will get to know what is the current situation. So what are the connectors that we will have in the Power BI? So we have the file connectors, we have database connectors, we also have the online services such as SharePoint Online, Exchange, everything we have. So before finishing this, let's jump over to the Microsoft.com and just see what are the features we have on the Microsoft Power BI.com. So this is the main website. You will go here. If you want to sign in and access to Power BI service, you will sign in here. If you want to download Power BI desktop, you will go here. You will click on Power BI desktop and you will download here. It will just download exe file and just do next. It is always prefer that always use the highest level of version, because it will have a lot of features, and Power BI is releasing this every month. So whenever you are installed, make sure that you already know that you are working on the latest and greatest update version. So let's start now our actually real demos. So first of all, what is my demo data set? So in the afternoon, Brent discussed this with everyone that the data will be available, and I was shocked because my demo data was also almost equal to the salary related, but it was not that. I mean, with the various features like whether it is a part-time, full-time, everything was not there. And when I go into this website, I downloaded the raw data, and as and when I was listening, I just created the Power BI dashboard for everyone. And believe me, see, this is just a side work, and just within 15 to 20 minutes, you are good to go with the dashboard. And but what dashboard I have created, I'm going to show you at the end. So you can see the actual, like difference between what we are going to create and what I have created just within 15 to 20 minutes. So let's see what is this raw data set first. So this raw data set definitely have the timestamp, what is your annual salary, country, primary data set, primary database you are working on. Brent, you want to jump in? You can definitely jump in about this data
No,
set.
no, this is good. This is good.
What is the job type? I really like the questions asked in this survey because
Okay.
it's almost consider each and every aspect, like what is your job title? Do you manage the staff or not, years of doing the same this job, and how many people are exactly doing the same job as you are doing this, because if you have this data we can actually see there is almost, I think, 2700 records.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have this how many, then it's actually plus that, you have exact that many amount of records. So if that means you are not analyzing one person, you are analyzing whole bunch of people who are exactly similar position, similar job.
Mm-hmm.
And how many database servers? This raw data definitely have more number of servers. You will know this very soon. Highest level of degree, the most important for, getting the job, because most of the job posting, they definitely mention this, that
Mm-hmm.
this job required this much education level or degree for sure. So, and some of even mention that do you have the certification? So I like that there is a question related to that also. So
Mm-hmm.
what I did is, so instead of what I did, let's go to Power BI and let's see fetching this data. So I open the Power BI. So when you will first open the Power BI, you will see the welcome screen. And in the welcome screen, you will have the options get data. This is the welcome screen. You will have options of get data, recent data sources, what I have used. And if what's the new, the most important thing, whenever you are going to open the Power BI, make sure that you know what's the new, because believe me, most of the things might be integrated what you are thinking right now. So what is the forum? You can go and click here and see what are the questions. If you have any questions, you can definitely post into these forums as well. So I'm just closing that welcome screen. And before getting the data, I will just explain what is the Power BI in short. So you have this top menu where you have home, view, modeling as a different tabs. We already seen the file option. So file option, you have new, open, save as. So you have to remember this, that save as option have actually two options. One is the PBIX and the PBIT. So what is this PBIT option? Is nothing but the template. How you are going to share your dashboard without giving the data. So if you have a dashboard, just create a parameterized data source connection and do all your analysis, and you want to share that dashboard with your colleague, but you don't want to give the data, then you will save that particular Power BI dashboard with the PBIT, and you will just give the name and you will share that file with your colleague. He is going to receive that file, he is going to replace the parameter with his data source, and boom, he will see your dashboard in his computer in your format. This is actually very interesting. That's why I showed you file save as option PBIT. It's similar to the how we have the PowerPoint execution format. Also, you have what's the new, sign out. Make sure that whenever you are going to log in first, you will see a sign in. It will ask you your username and password, what you are going to use, so you can use that. Now let's go to the visualization plane. So we have visualization plane in the right hand side, which is nothing but here. It has a chart on the top. It has the format painter fields as well as the formatting options over here, and you can definitely play around with it, and you will know that these are really interesting. So visualization is mainly supports with the chart formatting options. If you, let's get the data what we downloaded right now. So demo final, and this is the file what we have. So this is how we connected the data source. I will show you that one more time because it was very quick. So get data, and you have a lot of option over here. You have all the file connectors, CSV, XML, text. You have different databases right from the Oracle, SAP, IBM, SAP HANA. Believe me, I have used most of it, and it is works flawlessly. And Microsoft is adding these data connectors day by day. So probably if you want to include any database, you can just go into Power BI ideas and add your request. You will see that if there is a lot of voting for that particular idea, they are going to implement for you. Then you have a Azure, you have a online services like SharePoint list, Google Analytics, GitHub, MailChimp. Yes, if your survey is on MailChimp, you just get the data from MailChimp and you can further analyze it. You can do that. And you have other data source. So other data source is very interesting because the first one is the web. So consider that your data, you have seen some tables on the web. Most important, if you have a data in Wikipedia, you can get that data right away using this web data source. And it is very interesting if you have one data set and you want to compare that particular data set with your Wikipedia, just use a web data source, get your data from Wikipedia and just relate it and massage it and just do your analysis. And you have OData feed, all the RSS feeds and everything is comes under the OData feed. You have that also. In fact, you have the blank query also. Right now, what data we have is in Excel format. So let's get the data in Excel format. So I just selected the file which we have downloaded. So I have selected all the responses and here you can directly load. So this load will directly load your data into your field plane, or edit option will edit you in the query editor. So query editor is the another world inside the Power BI where you can do everything like adding the column, adding the measure, and you can massage it, you can append the queries. So you see here all the columns listed on the top, and Power BI is intelligent enough to apply a first few steps. Like for example, this was your source and Power BI apply this 3 step like navigation where the data is navigated, and it promoted the headers. You can see the row 1 is having the headers and it just promoted. By the way, this applied step is the all what you are doing inside the Power Query editor. It's good to listed over here in the applied step. So next it promoted the headers. After that it changed the data type. So Power BI is intelligent enough to know your data type, and it's going to change your column data type as per what it understood. So for example, timestamp is already in date time format. You can see here the small little icons inside the column heading is show you what is the data type. Here it's timestamp, here is numerical, here it's varchar, here it's also again numeric. So it gets change its data type by its own. So what I did further, I just changed the column name, like what is your annual salary? I just converted into salary, and then I just converted this into country. So likewise, I just changed the column names so that Power BI will easily understand, and then I started doing analysis. So for now, I will just do close and apply, and it is going to give me all the fields which are listed on that particular data set. So by the way, one thing you would like to always do in your data set, it just add a row measure. So actually I don't know, it's nobody mentioned it in anywhere, but what I will suggest that add the row measure. What it's going to do is it's going to give you a count of everything. So how to add a row measure? It's very simple. Just click on the custom column. After clicking custom column, just mention a row, or you can say rows, and just give the measure as 1. So 1 will consider as that particular row count, and I'm going to show you how it's interesting. Just having this row as a measure, you will get your most of the analytics done right away. So close and apply, and now we have the row measure. Here is our row measure. So just dragging that row measure and selecting the card. So card data type is just giving the numbers in front of you. Let's do the count. So this count is nothing but number of people who have replied on their salary. So 2,800 people replied. Maybe this is raw data, so let's consider this as a raw data. So, and you can see the row, how easily you can count all the things. So for example, how many different type of job type we have. So you have three job types, and how many people are replied for that particular job type? First of all, let's convert that into any let's convert that into table so that it will be very easy to understand. So it is already in table format, and just add row onto the values. So here you can see, let's do row and the count. Here you can see the full-time employees are 2,498. So this is the feature of adding the rows as a measure. I hope you will definitely like it, and you are going to use it in all of your, most of the time. Some of the dashboard data will have it, but some of them will not have it, so you can add it as a measure. So you can see here clearly like how many full-time employees were there and how many independent or freelancers, company owner. So this is what, and we all, every chart you can have a formatting option. Let's say I'm going to convert this into a normal bar chart, and in the formatting you can give a lot of options, such as you can change your data labels, you can make data labels on. So when you are going to make data labels on, let me little bit zoom it so that you can see it. So I'm just going into formatting options and just making it off. So by default it is off. When you are going to make it on, you can see there is a count popping up inside your bar charts. And not only that, you can change the data colors, you can change this labels, you can add labels, you can decide what will be the border, you can decide what will be the background, what will be the x-axis, what will be the y-axis row. I think most of the people are liking the Power BI because it really have high visualization features, such as formatting, such as like copy paste option. For example, you if you have another chart and you can do copy paste, I just do control C control V, it just copied the chart, and now I want to see a similar kind of stuff, but this time I want to see according to, let's say I want to see highest level of the degree, and I will remove the job type. So you have the same chart, but you are having the categories different. Now you have the number of counts, what are your associate level people, what are the bachelor level, doctorate, and all those stuff. So this is the formatting option. And most important and most, I mean, like the feature is the custom visuals. So what is this custom visual? So everyone is contributing to this custom visuals. You can just go to this visuals.powerbi.com, and you will see a lot of already created custom visuals for you, and Microsoft is adding this custom visuals day by day. So when I was logged in last week, the technometer was not there. I know the pyramid is just like 3-4 weeks back someone have populated. So you can use this custom visuals right away in the Power BI file. So for example, let's say I want to use this liquid fill gauge inside my Power BI file. What I will do, I will go to this site, I will see what custom visual I like, and then I'm going to download the visual, just make agree. And by the way, if you want to learn the any visual, you can definitely download the sample and learn it.
Are those all free or do they cost anything?
Those are absolutely free.
Oh, cool.
So I have this liquid gauge feature. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put this on my custom visual folder. By the way, it can sit in anywhere. So how you are going to import that? Very simple. You see a little 3 dots over here, import from file. Just click over it, import the custom visual, and then navigate to your visual, that is liquid fill gauge, import custom visual successfully, and you can see that icon. You can see here. Now let's try to convert one. Here you go. So this is how it is easy to import all the visual. You can definitely play with all the, believe me, some of the visual I feel that they were very costly, like this sand dance.
Yeah.
Microsoft was working on the sand dance, maybe like 8-9 months they were working, and they just release it for free. And if you see the how Sandance work, it's very visual. Believe you can, definitely if there is a conference and you want to showcase some of the data, this Sandance will just make people wow, believe me. And yeah, And you have this little world cloud. If you just download it, it's going to display according to the value of the word, which is, for example, here social is highest count of the world inside your data. So this visuals makes the power take the Power BI into next stage. And you can make your own visuals. So for example, if you have anything in your mind that you want to develop, there are people like if you know any C sharp developer, just that is your teammate, because uh, every visual needs D3, D3 support and D3 as your technical background, and you can develop that visual. And there are demo videos given by Microsoft people how you can develop those visuals. And most important is infographics. It solves the most of the like people's problem, because creating infographics itself was very big pain, because first you have to analyze the data, then you have to give that analysis to your designer, which doesn't know anything about the data, right? And then you have to make him understand that this is the what we want, this is the size, this is the pie chart. But with the infographic designer, you can design a high level of infographics using the Power BI itself. Okay, I'm going to stick to my agenda, because I know, once I talk about one feature, I get lost about it.
Yeah, a
So
couple people in
next,
Slack are like, well, you should have him design this, design this. I'm like, hold on, let's go back to what he's supposed to
sure,
do.
sure. And because I know there are two people in our Power BI community, global community, they are ready to develop anything. When we are discussing just few uh, visuals one day, and those people come up within 3 days, just posted over here, and you can download and you can use. It is that fast.
Very cool.
So moving over to our next type. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to open Power BI dashboard file, which I have created in today's afternoon by just looking at the raw data on the Brentosa website.
Ooh.
So I just name it also job analysis on Brentosa data. And believe me, this just I feel that this is just a work of like 20-25 minutes, and there are people who can come up with the better design in less amount of time. Yeah,
But it's
so
still, I
this
mean,
is the main
wow.
page. Yeah,
Wow.
this is the main page, and this is just the stats. So in Power BI, you have these pages. You can have as many pages, no problem, and every page gives some meaning. It will be good. It will be very easy to navigate when it is going to publish on the Power BI website. So first of all, I always go with the stats first, and then search, and then whatever you want to do, you can do. Because first, what the people are most interested into, what are the stats? Like what are the facts in my database? So facts are nothing but just accounts. Like what is the total response time? Let me click on view auto recovery. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. No problem. So what are my total responses? So there are 2,800 total responses. How many countries where those responses are from? So there are total 87 countries. Let me see what it's doing. It's loading from data model. Okay, don't save that. Okay. So see, I accidentally closed the last testing Power BI Word document, Power BI document. So it is asking me whether you want to save that or not. That means it's little intelligent, right? So this is really good. So total responses, how many distinct countries? So in the raw data, we have responses from 66 countries. What is the average week hours? That is 43.23. And how did I this is average week hours? It's very simple. I will just showcase over here in the new page. I'm going to expand this field. Let's close this agenda store. So where is the average work hour? So this is the average work hour, and let's use the card. So this is the card, and it is right now showing the sum. Let's put into average, and this is the average. I didn't know anything. So this is how I put the average. By the way, there are total 20 different job titles on that raw data. And Brent, I want to ask you one thing. Those raw data is actual raw created by manual stuff, or there is some live data also inside that Excel?
You know, it's interesting. Originally, we let people type in their own job titles, but it is just coming
Okay.
straight out of the survey. We overwrote some of them because they put in things that, just like that,
Oh,
no other human being would have that job title. Like some people with CIO, some people with CTO. We just collapsed those into manager.
wow.
And some of them, people are putting in. One person put in like $1 million salary, and I'm like, I don't think you really make $1 million. That's
Oh, no, actually, that's why I said, because if the raw data would have been, uh, it would have been taken time to me get here. Because of the data was really in good format, I was able to create it pretty quickly.
Oh, I only
So
gave them so
how,
many choices. I gave them so few choices that they had to pick things.
by the way, this is the work from home option, and you can see hardly few people are getting, option for work from home. See, none or less than 1 day, almost
More than
60 to
half.
80% people. I
Yeah.
mean, I was shocked by looking. I said, I mean, maybe this is raw data, but surely this was like, like not sure whether, because how the market is going,
Mhm.
this count is definitely going to be less for sure.
I thought it would be more. I mean, I thought because still there's so many people who don't get the chance to work from home, and they just have been working in
That's
the same
true.
company for forever. But
That's true. And if I would like to, like every data has its own, like value. If I would like to give a value to that particular data, then this is how I will do it. So this data together holds $254 million worth because
oh
that's the total
wow,
salary of the people who have, given the
wow,
survey.
that's true.
So the total database experience of these people is 40,000 years of experience. So believe me, if we are going to put all those 2,000 people in one company, that definitely going to, like take NASA also on, like backseat.
Well, it gives me new hope for like when we go to the past summit and you're surrounded by 3,000 people. Suddenly, if you think about it in
Yes,
terms of how many
yes.
years of experience they have and how much they make, it's huge.
Yeah, that's really true. If you see, most of them are having a DBA background, DBA.
Mhm.
So I mean, how much time it took me to give this, like little formatting? Let's see in one page. So what I do is I'm going to replicate one of the table format. Table format is nothing but the normal table structure. So let's say get the job title, get the rows, and row actually take the count. So I have taken the count. Then go to the field, and here you have the table style as a formatting option. So what you are going to do here, just give the bold headers, and your header is all formatted, and just give little border, and it is formatted. Okay. Now what's going to happen, you have another option that is a format painting. You believe that, like, believe me, format painter solves a lot of the formatting, like complexity. So for example, I have another employee sector, and I want to know what is the rows, and now I want to get this table also exactly into this format. Just use format painter. Format painter, just paste it here. Oh, that was not in the same format. Okay, let's do another one. So this is into table format. Let's make this also in table format. Make sure that when you are using format painter, both the charts, both the things are in the same type. I don't know why it doesn't copy, but most of the time it did copy. Let
It's
me
live
delete that.
demos. Live demos are always like that.
No, let me try one more time. Row, employee sector, rows count, and let me, oh, it's not copying, no problem. So but usually if you see, I have copied more, I have just created one and just use format painter in all other the data source, all other visualizations, and it gives me exact look and feel for all the visuals. And then once you have this stats will actually your the first look on your data. So this is your first look, like, or how many education degrees we have. You have 1400 and bachelors, you have 19 PhD people. So these stats are first glance, and then your second slide should be around search. So search is nothing but adding all the master data into the filters. For example, highest degree, employee sector. These are according to data, these are the master data set where you can just add a filter and you want to get the count according to that. So for example, I want to know how many bachelors are there in my data. So I will just filter in bachelors and all the data will get filters, which means the bachelors are averagely working on 43 hours, the total different job types of the bachelors are 18, and the total responses of the bachelors were 1479. If you want to further, like just selecting the bachelors and you want to see how many bachelors are there, those are having a computer degree, you will go in is computer degree filter and just select yes. So these are the, if you see, there's average salary is little bit bigger than the not having the computer degree. So this is the filters that you can definitely add into your dashboard, which will make your user very easily to select and compare. So for example, if you want to compare the doctors with the bachelor, what you are going to do, you are going to unselect all the filters, and then you can see the first bachelors and then unselect and select the doctors. So you can see here, like total DB experience, total salary, average salary is changing. And definitely you have option of select all option also. So where you can select all and get. Now how to add the filters like this? Very easy. Like just add a filter option over here and select any filter. Let's say highest education. You got the highest education filter. But if you go into the formatting options, here you have a selection control where you want to give people select all option, and you want to give people also a comparison selection. Like for example, they can select two of them together, or if you don't want to give a two comparison option, just have select single selection option on where they can select just one, not they cannot compare the two things together. This also you can give, just controlling your filter visual. So in the first slide we covered job stats, then search, and then you have the graphical, that is country wise. You can compare your stats into the graphical format, like how many more responses were more from any specific country. You can see North America, I mean from US you get on 1800 responses than the rest of the world. So, and you can further compare the two countries together. So if you want to two countries together, first you want to make sure that you have selection control on, and then you can compare the two countries together using this country wise filter option. And
That's cool.
what is the average salary? Like what is the average salary for the bank? So if I want to have a same kind of filter option and I want to change just the middle visual, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the features like Control A, okay, Control C. I'm going to go into next page, Control V. Okay, all the filters are getting pasted over here.
Oh wow.
Just delete whatever you don't want, and you can add whatever chart you want inside his. So I have this little pyramid chart which is just now, I mean 3 weeks back it's got launched. So you can add here job type and then add your salary. You can add the average or median or variance. You can add anything. I just added salary by average, and you can see compare how many salaries in the all the stuff inside your pyramid visualization. So this is how Power BI is very like intuitive and very fruitful, and you can do your own analytics very quickly. And I would like to give a last feature option, then I'm going to jump right away on Blitz dashboard and SQL
Mhm.
Server dashboard. I know people are waiting for that. So the group option is very interesting because sometimes when you have the data, like suppose I'm going to get a salary groups. Okay, sorry, I just revealed the Okay, I have the server option. So how many servers you have work? Let me see, where is the server option? Number of servers your team
Mm-hmm.
manage. So
Mm-hmm.
if I want to see the grouping, so for example, people have responded many things. For example,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
convert this into table and give the row count
Yeah. There's a lot.
and don't summarize. When you give the option don't summarize, it will not summarize. So right
Mm-hmm.
now you have this many people who have tell you that this many number of servers they have used. But if you want to analyze them in groups, for example,
Mm-hmm.
13 people have responded that they have used one server, like 54 tell
Zero.
one server, 102 people said two servers. Not only that, you can just sort over here and you will see that most of the 10 servers, 10 is the number where 2203 people have responded. Now, as a analyst or as a, when I want to analyze this, I want to analyze in group, like how many people were there in 0 to 10 group, how many people were there in 10 to 20 group.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, in doing that in SQL Server query, it is difficult. Doing that in
Impossible.
SQL Server Excel, it is difficult. Doing that in your SSRS, it is difficult. But let's see how easy you can do this inside the Power BI. What you want to do, just very simple thing, just click on your number of servers and just do new groups. Okay, when you are going to click on the new groups, it's going to ask
Oh
what is the
wow.
name of your group.
Nice.
Yes, it's very easy, just say server groups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, once you write the server groups, click on the drop down list and just select the group. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select 0 to 20, let's say 0 to 31st, and then group. Once you group them, name them 0 to 30,
Mm-hmm.
take the next group, then name them 41 to 80, whatever you have selected. So once you select this kind of group, rest all will be in others. So I'm going to click on OK. Now your group is ready. So I'm going to use already predefined one server group, which is 0 to 10, 100 to
Mm-hmm.
200. So this gets your visualization onto groups, and everybody wants to visualize their data into group rather than having just
Mm-hmm.
sequential data. Once you have this group, just use your rows, then you will use your counts. So then you will know what are the number of 0 to 10 users. Those are the 1,000. You can see there are more than 400 people who are using number of servers ranging from 41 to 100. And you can definitely play with your server groups, I mean your groups. In fact, it is very interesting when I added the salary into this server groups. Let's
Oh.
add the salary and let's make the salary average. Okay,
Oh
now you
wow.
can
Yeah.
see the people who are using less servers, I mean, more than, I mean, those who
11,000.
have mentioned that they are using more than, like 11,000 server, maybe I'm not sure why they are saying that, but they are having
Mm-hmm.
more salary. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They
and
manage a.
those who are having, those who are using less server, they are having less salary. It's
Mhm.
not, I'm saying that, just go and add the servers, but this is what data is saying to us.
That's neat. That's cool.
Yeah.
This is
So
going to be
this
so much
grouping is
fun.
very. Oh, yes. And let's go one step further. Now, if you want to know that, like, what is the, let me see, what is that formula? That formula is nothing but net salary, or you can say, what is the hourly salary for that particular user. So we know that what US government recommended, that average employee should have 2087 hours if it is paying hourly. It should have that much if they are hiring you as a full-time employee. So we already know everyone's salary. Okay, so let's convert that into hourly salary. How you are going to do? Very simple. You are going to click on new column, and this is what you are going to do right now is DAX. So some people thought that DAX might be very difficult, but it is very easy. You don't have to do it. So I just selected salary divided by the number of hours that US government recognize, and then hourly rate. I know some people might not be agree with this analysis, but that's okay. I mean, you can create your own functions like this, but this is just an example I want to give. And now if I want to add that into here, hourly rate, and then just make an average. Now you can see with the groups, with the average hourly rate of that people by adding just a new column. And now think of it, if there is a SSRS report and there is a request coming to you that, hey, this is not enough, I need one more column as average hourly salary. Then you will might go to the SQL Server reporting surveys, you will add a column, probably you might write an expression, and then you will further publish the report. Some people, if the data is very huge, they will add a SQL column in fact, then they will pull that onto SQL queries into SSRS report. But Power BI reduces that all the functionality, and you can add the columns, you can add the measures very easily. Okay, so just jumping onto my actual main Zist dashboard, that is SQL Blitz. So for that, actually, I have to go to my different machine. So I'm going to close this, don't save. Okay, so this is my another machine because this is really a good machine, and the data is really huge because I have also integrated Stack Overflow, and thanks to Brent, so making a Stack Overflow database so easy. In fact, within 1 or 2 hours, because my speed was very less, downloading and integrating was that so easy, and right away I have the entire Stack Overflow database. You can go on his blog, just follow a few of the steps. You will have that big beast of database sitting on your machine just for your research. Thanks, Brent, for that.
You bet, you bet. Thanks to the guys at Stack Overflow for making it public. That's just absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just opening one SSMS instance. So first of all, I will just run few queries that I have used inside this dashboard. Might be you will write a better query than this, because I know there are a lot of DBAs who have their like folder sitting on their machine which they use all the time. Every DBA have their own toolkit. Just use those toolkit and create your own dashboard what you need. So just connecting to the server. Now I'm just going to pull the server info. So what this query is going to do, it's just going to pull all the server related information for you, and it's going to show up like what is the machine name, what is the binaries, error log path, what is the startup user, everything related to your server, whether it is correlated, what RAM it is having, what SQL Server version it is using, everything related to server instance. So similarly, I have a bunch of queries sitting on this particular dashboard. So I have listed all of those queries like database name, server info, and the most important was SP_blitz. And maybe, I am not the best person to talk about it. Maybe Brent, you can just explain what is SP_blitz for next 2-3 minutes. That will be really huge for the people.
So I got so frustrated as a database administrator because people kept giving me servers with all kinds of surprises in them. They had left things turned on, they had triggers in there, strange settings. So I wrote SP Blitz to analyze the health of my SQL servers and alert me on things that would surprise me later. Plus, what it ended up giving me over time was something I could show to bosses and say, here's what it looked like at the beginning of the year, here's what it looks like today, that there's all these less critical problems now than there was when I back started the year. It's totally free, it's open source. If you go to brentozar.com/blitz, you can go download it and run it on your servers to understand how unhealthy they are.
And this first responder kit is $1 million worth.
Oh, good, thanks. Glad you like it. We put a ton of work into that. It's open source.
And just I was trying to analyze what you did in this SP_blitz, and after 2-3 hours, I realized that nowhere in this life I'm going to read that.
You know what's amazing is people, so because it's open source, I'll get code contributions from people, and I almost want to apologize to them for them having to read my code. Eric does an amazing job on SP Blitz Cache, which is really hard to read. I mean, that one's really tough.
Right. Okay, thanks, Brent, for that awesome
You bet.
summary of
You
awesome
bet.
information related to Blitz. And so this is Brent's Blitz SP. If I'm playing with your show procedure, please bear with me, Brent, for a
Oh,
minute.
good. Yeah.
So what I did is I'm just going to, comment this section because I want to create a dashboard which can work on any server. I don't have to go and write the SP_grids on that particular server. Instead, I will write this script inside the dashboard, and I will just change the parameter to that particular server instance, and I will get the information right for me in my dashboard. So if I will execute this, you will see that you will get the information here as well. So I just executed this, and it has all the sample database, like right from AdventureWorks 2008 to 16, all the Northwind, as well as the Wildword importers, which is 2016 Contoso, as well as my favorite, and thanks for Brent, making it available for download, that is Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is also sitting on this server right now. So this is the output you get when you just fire the query, just uncommenting this. And so what I did is I did the exact same thing inside my dashboard in the SP_blitz query window. Let's go into edit query window. And by the way, I'm going to make available for this dashboard and everything onto my session link, what the
Oh,
Brent
cool.
is giving all the time.
Cool.
So Blitz, so edit query, you can see here source. I just clicked on the source. You can see I just copy pasted here, and I just hit on OK. And I just made this thing as a parameter, that is SQL Server name, so that next time if I am just actually it will be very smart that just go with your Power BI file and tell, hey, give me your server name. Okay, once you have the server name, you will tell, oh, this is what is happening, but don't forget to mention Brent's name. Because when you are
Jeez.
going to explain them, all the queries, all the links are going to go into the Brent site.
That's true. Yeah, that's
You can,
true.
and you cannot avoid that at all. So
Yes.
I added that, and you will just refresh the data set and close and apply. So little bit of other data set also I will try to explain very quickly because we are really running out of time. So one server info, what I show, I added here. And after adding all my queries, what I did is I make it little consistent. What consistency I made is I made a database name as a name everywhere, so that Microsoft Power BI can understand very intelligent enough to make the relationship pretty quickly. So for example, if you want to jump from the database backup file to the current process and compare both of them, that you can do if your database are already related. If you are finding that your database data sets are not related, you can relate them. How? That I will show you right away. So you have this three plane, one report, another one is the data, and third one is the report. So relationship. So when you click on this relationship, you will see how you are going to see in SQL diagram. You will see here all the data set tying to each other. And if suppose you want to link one to another, you can just pick that and drag into another. I'm not going to dragging because it will mess up the data model. So you can do that. Mostly if your names are same, the BI is intelligent enough to relate them. Sometimes it does like relate wrong things, but if you can correct those, it will be very good. And you can see once you click here, you can see how SP helpdb dataset DBID is getting connected with database. In fact, I didn't map them. They themselves map it intelligently. So it is if it is not linked, you can just come over here, just drag that particular column into another dataset. Boom, your relationships are done, and you can ready to do your cross dataset analysis also. Now, next thing, like some of the dataset, like SP_blitz has a URL. So if you want to know that Power BI should treat that particular data set as a URL, you have to tell that, make this column as a URL. So what you are going to do, you are going to just select that particular column. You are going to go into modeling, and you have different types of data categories. So you can see here image and all those stuff. I make it web URL because this is web URL. So that when you are going to develop anything, so the visualization will know that this is the link that, it has to go through that link. So I'm going to close this and going to showcase the report. So this is what is SP_Bliss dashboard. Let me first cover the overview, and I try to make the color combination same as the Brentos or PLF, and if anything is wrong.
Look at that.
So how many total bleeds counts I have in my database? That is 210.
Wow.
How many distincts are there? 26. How many distinct priorities I have? So those are the 10, and the groups 8. In fact, if you are very much interested into any of the finding, you can click and make sure that you can get that details. So for example, let's see the Stack Overflow. So when I'm clicking on Stack Overflow, you can see I have not performed the backup because it's already 100, close to 100 GB of the database. I don't want to back up that. So all the database owner related stuff, and probably Brent, you might able to guess this because you are very much familiar with this kind of. And in fact, you can filter on the top according to priority. So for example, if I want to solve first the high priority one only, then what I will do, select all, and then I'm going to unfilter it and then select whatever the important. Let's say priority one is most important, then I will select priority one. Then I will solve only those, I will tackle only those very easily. So let's see what is there in deep dive. So for example, sometimes your data set has a very huge data set. Okay, let's say SP_Blitz definitely gives a really good output, frankly very like very easy to understand. But on top of that, if you want to search, like let's say I want to search like only groups related to performance, you have one visualization which is search, and which is also a custom visual. You can just download, import, and you will get this here. So I imported this smart filter visual. This is group, and I can just type over here like performance, and it will filter this particular data set according to whatever it has. So it has now backups and restores. So let me filter according to backup. So as and when I am typing, it's just filtering the data, your data set, and now I want to know backup not performed recently. I will just select that, and all the data set will get refreshed with that particular search filter. Isn't it very fast? Isn't it
Yeah,
very
that's
easy?
really slick. That's
Yeah,
really slick.
the search functions makes, I mean, Power BI very easily searchable. I mean, if I want to search anything, I will just add this search type of buttons, search type of visualizations everywhere, and people can come here and search their specific work or their specific visualization. And with respect to this all, we also have the SQL Server information dashboard, where you will get all your SQL Server information on your just sitting dashboard. What is your memory size, CPU uses, what is the free disk space you have. So I have only one drive on sitting on that machine. So it has 39% free and 60% full because of the Stack Overflow. But I really like that, and I'm going to keep Stack Overflow at least for next 2 years. Use, and this is, I mean, to get all the information I have to dig, and like there are a lot of SQL people who help me to get their queries and to make this. So this is the part where I had little bit of tough time like getting the RAM, but it was
Sure.
very easy with the few queries. So this is the RAM what I have right now, as well as the memory details, everything related to server. So and if consider, now we already see there are people who have 100 and 200 servers. Consider that, think of like you have filter for each server. How it will be very easy to just store this information in the Power BI and filter your servers in the Power BI dashboard, and know everything about it. Isn't it very, like interesting? Like if you have 100 servers, make sure that all are getting connected, and you will get all the information using append query, and all the 100 server information with all this information sitting right for you in your Power BI dashboard.
Very slick.
And I know people always use the current process, which is the kill. Right now, nothing is
Oh,
running
yeah.
on my server, so that's why it's not showing anything. But if we have any running process, you can just come over here and see over here, and this Power BI will take you to a next smart person and take you to the next stage where you can, be very smart. You can be very visualized, and you
There
can
you
showcase your work in visualized format. So this is what is SQL Server dashboard information and bleed. One more thing I would like to show here, and that will be my last demo. So what I want to, because there was one requirement where, people want to see what are the Twitter live feed for that particular event on the projector. So which means real time they want to see the Twitter feed counts everything. So what I did for that is I will just first explain. And by the way, this is the this is the oldest method. New method, we using Azure, you will have the Twitter integration right away, very easy than this. But what I did, I used Twitter, and there is IFTTT service which is very freely available. And what does it will do, any Twitter hashtag for that specific event, it is going to put the one row in the Google Sheet. Okay, and then what I did is I interface this Google Sheet to the web interface. I mean, I publish this as a web, and
go.
Power BI can take that as a source and show all the refresh data on the projector. So I will open up that dashboard, and this Twitter dashboard also I have make it available for download to everyone on my link. So I'm just opening that Twitter live dashboard. So right now, what I did is I just taken Power BI as a hashtag, and I just taking all the tweets happening related to Power BI. So I'm going to refresh it so that it will refresh the latest tweet data. So you can see January 30th. 4 p.m. someone tweeted about it. So it just refreshing, it's just going into Google Sheet. So you can see 6:39 someone tweeted about pro licensing difference kind of car. So this dashboard was sitting in the projector for that specific event. Everyone was so interestingly, replying. They were saying their tweets. You can see here tweet. I mean, don't think just Power BI as a, analytics tool. I mean, think how you can utilize that for your own research. So right now I'm just I'm very new to the stock market. So first thing came into my mind, how I can analyze all stock of any company from last 30 years. And believe me, I was able to import, I was able to download all the Yahoo data and get actually the dashboard is not ready, that's why I'm not showing. Maybe in near future I will show it in different session. But it was very easy, and I'm getting more interested into stock market. So this is just another example that how you can utilize the Power BI in real life. So Brent, I am open for the questions now.
Oh, perfect. Several people have said they want to play around with this. They're very excited to play around with these. Let's see here. JD says, if you have a Power BI dashboard of whatever variety that's connected to some data, can you publish the dashboard without giving them access to the underlying data, giving them just the dashboard but not the data underneath?
Yes, and let's do that. And actually, I forget that. So let's do that. So this is the job analysis Brentos or PBIX files.
Oh,
You will you will just open it, and I'm going to publish it into my session right away. So you will open the group by, and then I will open up my session. It will be very quick, believe me.
oh, sure, sure.
So here you have the publish option. So you will publish to web. So this is getting published onto the web. Once it is going to publish onto the web Power BI service, we can see that onto the web service, and I will cover
Wonderful.
that little bit of part. Okay, so it's getting published. Meanwhile, I will just open up the blog. So I already logged in, so it will be very easy for me to just add that link. So I'm going into my okay, post. So here is my WordPress. Let's see whether it is got published. Oh, sorry, it's published to the web service. Here you will get the link to access it on the web. So right now, nobody have this link because I didn't publish it to web. So you can see you will get the same kind of look and feel into the web feature also. Here you have this option file and publish to the web. Okay, so I'm going to clicking on publish to the web, create embedded code, publish. Once I will have this iframe, I'm going to copy paste this iframe and I'm going to paste into the text. I'm going to paste it dashboard, and I didn't share data set. I'm just sharing the data. I'm just sharing the dashboard. Update. So it's getting updated. Now let's see the preview.
I'm going in there too. Go session 7. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if
Actually, I don't know why it's not showing here.
I don't think I have iframes turned on mine. I can fix that pretty
No
easy.
problem. You know what I will do? Let's see. I have this link ready. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, I'm not good in HTML, but let's see, I'm just pasting this here and I'm saving this file as test.html. Okay, C drive. Where is my demo final? I'm going to store it here. Test.html. Okay, so where is that test.html? Okay, so here is my that Chrome file. I opened it and you can see it's the dashboard is opening. So this is how people can access your dashboard without sharing your data set with them. In fact, if you have a row level security, they can see the data, whatever access they have. That also, you know, highly featured in the Power BI.
Ah, nice. All right, I think the we another. Let's see, we got one. Oh, JD says, can you still change your filters and all that when you're looking in the web version? Like, can you change, click on things?
Yeah, in the web version also, you can definitely change your filters. So here I am. So, for example, I'm here and I can go into the web. Where is Twitter Live? So here I can come and change the filters. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Edit report. You see the same functionality over here. So definitely you can change the filter. You've got all the features of Power BI Desktop onto the web portal. So you can change the filter.
Go ahead.
And by the way, Power BI is integrated in SSRS. So near future, you will see using Power BI embedded, how you can have, you know, like very flexible reporting. In our previous version of SSRS, we just have those drop down, and everybody knows how troubling those dashboard. I mean, SSRS drop down where you cannot change, you cannot format. I mean, you cannot do anything. But using Power BI embedded, you can do everything. Like you can have a very much search functionality in your any app like C# or web page anywhere.
It looks gorgeous. Well, thanks so much for presenting, Vishal. This is fantastic, and I know people are going to be excited to play around with the salary survey data. So many people said they wanted to play around with those Excel files. JD says this is absolutely awesome. This solves a major problem and gets our BI analysts off our back. Thank you.
Sure.
So thanks for volunteering to speak here. A big warm round of applause for Vishal.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, thank you. Adios, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.